Hey friends, welcome back to the Expat Livin podcast, where we help you get you from where you are to where you want to be. I'm Guillermo.
And I'm Danielle, and today we're going to rewind the clock a little bit and tell you about our very first day in Spain.
That's right, the day we first stepped off the plane with 4 kids, a bunch of luggage, and absolutely no idea what we're really getting into.
There were nerves, chaos, jet lag, but also this incredible feeling of like, wow, we actually did it.
Yeah, so if you've ever wondered what those first 24 hours really look like when you move abroad, this one's for you.
Let's dive in.
New horizons start to glow. One-way ticket to the sun. Your expat life has just begun.
So day one.
It was like trauma, chaos,
Excitement,
but excitement, nerves. So it was all that wrapped in one.
So why don't you set up, like, I know everybody wants to know about the arrival, but the story starts with like getting to the journey.
Yeah, actually that's not a bad idea. So the story does start with us heading to the airport. We sold our car, so we had to get hitch a ride with our father-in-law, which I don't know, my father-in-law, Guillermo's father.
Yeah, I love my dad, but he and GPS and driving the car, not so bueno.
Well, that, and then there was nowhere to park, right? So he drops us off with how many bags?
13 bags.
Yeah, 13
bags. So 2 per person, and then a whole bag just for my fishing stuff. It was obnoxious.
Plus a dog in a crate.
Let's
not forget the dog.
Yeah.
So, and 4 kids. So Dad drops us off and leaves, and we are trying to figure out how to get all this luggage into the
from the curb to the gate. It was just a major
and it was a madhouse. It was totally packed.
Well, we were out of Newark, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And then we had to get the dog with the dog reservation. It was a whole thing.
Did they almost keep the dog? They didn't want to let the dog on, right? Because the crate. She was there way longer at the desk. That I was concerned.
No, they did a full investigation of the crate. So they took everything out of the crate. All she had in there was like a little bed and a water, one of those hooked up water bottles,
and a volume. I think she
had a volume because she was a little bit too big that she had to go underneath the plane, which I felt really bad, but it was the only way to get her.
We did find a good airline. We'll talk about that in a separate video. There's good airlines that take care of pets.
Just for pets. But so anyway, they did a great job. They did inspect the thing. It took a long time. But Guillermo was starting to get worried that we were going to miss our flight because you can't check the dog too early. So the timing is really important.
We should probably pause there. It's like Guillermo's, I've got PTSD on traveling. I hate traveling on the plane. I love traveling, seeing the world, but going to security, this is the thing that stresses me out, which is important to know because the rest of the story is going to highlight that a little bit.
Yes. Yep. So anyway, we get on the plane. Plane is fine. It's great. We have a layover because we couldn't get a direct flight with the dog. So we find a flight that has a layover in Germany.
Yeah.
And the time frame is very short, the window, and we arrive a little late. So we need to get from our gate in Germany to the next gate with 4 kids. The dog was taken care of.
Yeah, lots of backpacks though.
But everybody had a backpack, and my God, those kids, they shoved everything they could possibly get in their backpacks. So they were heavy, really, really heavy. So
I lost one of our kids
in the airport.
Literally, so we wanted to get, because we've missed a connection before. We were in Ireland and we missed a connection, and the kids are freaking out, and Guillermo is also freaking out, right? I'm freaking out. So I have 3 boys. We start rushing ahead. The 2 other ones are going. Xavier, our wonderful son, he's not the guy who runs ahead. And I'm like, all right, cool. We need to get to the gate. My 2 other ones are going ahead. I can't let them get too far ahead. You go drop back and find mom. And so I go run ahead. Well, Xavier didn't drop back. He sort of just...
He just hung
lingered.
out.
Yeah.
He hung out. He was. I was maybe a minute. It wasn't that bad. I was like a minute behind him, but
that minute he was panicked.
But he was in full panic mode, and I show up, and he's there crying, all alone in the middle of the airport. Poor thing.
Yeah, I
now he
know.
has like trauma when he
He
has.
has also PTSD.
But now he's always on time, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and but he does freak out when we get him. He's asking all kind of questions like, "Hey, what time's the flight? What's the gate?
What's the gate? What's the number?" So
I feel horrible today.
yeah. So, but anyway, we
made it.
We survived it.
Yeah.
We made it. We get to the airport
In Madrid.
In Madrid, and it's been a long flight. We're so tired and exhausted, and it's probably very early in the morning.
No, was it Madrid? No, we
We
Malaga.
didn't Malaga.
Malaga.
Yeah.
Sorry, Malaga.
So
yeah.
we get and then so we get off the plane. We go to find our stuff. We're waiting for our stuff, and I go to somebody and ask, where do I go to pick up my dog, because she was on the flight.
Yeah, we're expecting that there's a special room that we go pick up Chewy, right? Yeah.
Or a counter, because that's how I took her. I dropped her off at a special pet counter and all that. No. The guy says, "En la cita." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
La cita.
I think she asked, like,
la cita.
4 or 5 times, and the guy got upset. Like
He kept pointing, and I'm like, what is he talking about?
It's like
First
the
of all, I
belt.
didn't know what cinta meant. I mean, I know what it means, but I didn't think it means belt. And the dog literally came out on the
conveyor belt
on the
with
conveyor belt
all
with
the
all of
other
our
luggage.
luggage.
Yeah.
And I was
We were,
like mortified. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
and she's freaking out because the volume now
It's
is
gone.
Right.
So we get the luggage, we get the dog. The kids are so excited to see her. I know it's only been like, I don't know, 15 hours or something, but they're like, we need to get her out, make sure she's okay.
The doors is locked up with zip strips.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to break her out of there, and obviously the first thing she does is pees all over the floor.
In the middle of like the airport.
In the middle of the airport, and I'm so
a lot.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting for our bags. So
all 13 bags.
all 13 bags. So Guillermo says, all right, well, why don't you, she's looking like she's got to go, number 2, she got to poo. So I was like, well, let me take her somewhere, because I don't want to be embarrassed about her going poo all over the floor.
Yeah.
So I go to take her out. They tell me, the people there at the airport tell me where to go to take her out. She does her business, and then they won't let me back in.
Yeah, so that was the next chaotic moment for Guillermo. Like, I'm stuck with 4 kids and 13 bags, and the kids, like, they're not big. I mean, now Xavier's 6'2" at this point, but they're young.
They were 13, 12.
Not even 13. I don't think Joaquin was even 13 at that point.
Yeah, he was 13.
Okay.
He had just turned 13, 12, and 7 and 8.
Yeah. And Aviva's like mini, can't push any bags.
Yeah.
13, and I'm not talking about little bags. Like, we overpacked.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's the thing. Like,
Hindsight.
We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, and I'm sitting there 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm like,
It's not for lack of trying. I was outside begging. Can you please let me in? I have to help my husband
I
and
don't
my
think the audience
kids.
understands that this is like on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
My biggest fear was like, we're gonna arrive somewhere and I don't know how to speak the language. I don't know where to go. So this is, again, ingrained in me. And it's all the flashbacks are happening. I'm sitting there, and now I've got 4 other human beings to take care of, a bunch of bags that I can't push. So I'm literally moving 10 feet with one cart, coming back, grabbing the other cart,
There were
moving 10 feet.
three carts, airport carts.
Yeah, full to the brim. And I'm just
Like
inching forward, and I'm angry. Like, I'm like, all right, we should have had
Yeah.
I'm
The other thing is I
version,
had
yeah.
my phone with me, but it didn't work.
None of the phones
and
worked
his
yet,
didn't work.
yeah.
And we didn't have any service. We didn't have a SIM card. Nothing.
So eventually I do inch out and get outside, and she's there outside the door trying to get in.
Yeah. I felt so bad.
Yeah, so it was chaotic, but the good news was...
The good news was, in the meantime, while I was outside, I met with the person that we had hired back from the States. We had hired somebody to help us integrate into the neighborhood. And this person also was there to pick us up from the airport and help us bring our luggage and our things to the house.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a car or transportation. So the good news was I met with her, and she helped me.
She helped out with the 13 bags.
yes.
Yeah. I think we had 2 cars. Yeah.
We had 2 cars.
And the bags barely fit.
Putting myself and my kids in a car with a complete stranger was a
that's
little.
fine, yeah.
But we had been working with her for a few months now, so I felt secure.
Awesome.
But yes, in hindsight, that was the good move.
Yeah, the good news is like that, and that's a lesson, right?
Yeah,
have somebody
absolutely.
sort of
Have somebody on the
who's gonna-
ground.
who's going to help you out. And so that was chaos, but then it got a little bit better, a little worse.
It got better until we got to our town, which was about an hour north of the airport. So we get to the town, and it was a local holiday. So literally everything was closed. Like,
Yeah, and in Spain, when things are closed, they're
really closed.
Like, I mean, there's no grocery store.
nothing was open.
So the lady that we hired was like, listen, you need to go in and like order, if you're starving, because it was about to be siesta.
Yep.
And siesta, again, for real. Like
Yes.
stores close down.
Everything
You're
shuts
not
down.
getting anything.
Now, in some parts of Spain, they don't really observe the siesta, but
As much.
in the smaller towns and pueblos,
Yeah.
count on it. Count
Yeah.
on things being closed from like 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So yes. So,
I mean, other than the restaurants are open from like 1 to 3.
Yeah, right.
And so first move was we went to this restaurant.
yeah, we literally dropped our stuff. We didn't even walk through the house. We dropped our stuff and we like shoot to the restaurant because we were starving. Kids were hungry. We had nothing in the house but for a few like milks and breads because the lady,
Yep.
she knew that it was a holiday, so she thought I should probably get you guys some bread or some
Yeah, some basic stuff.
basics so that you have something to eat for the morning. So that was really kind of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go to this restaurant, and it was the first restaurant we ever went to in our town.
And it was a great experience. It was awesome. It really was.
Yeah.
In fact, so much so that we went back regularly.
In fact, the woman who served us, I think she was one of the owners, was also an expat. She had moved to Spain about 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
And she was really sweet. So
I remember that meal because I was so excited. And it's literally, they have these things called chiringuitos. They're like these little restaurants right on the beach.
yeah,
And it's really cool. I mean, they have these boats where they're charcoal and they have the fish spiked in there. So I saw that. I'm like, I want some fresh fish.
yeah.
And it was so delicious and so cheap.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
a meal for like 6 kids.
6 people.
Yeah, or 6 people.
Don't give me
yeah.
more kids.
Yeah, don't give me more kids.
6 people was what, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, like $30-$40.
Yeah, it was incredible. It
Yeah.
was a great time.
So,
Yeah.
so that's the good news.
So that was good news. So then, after all the chaos of the day and we finally got some food in us, we went back to our house. Tell me a little bit about that.
So it was good. Again, this woman met with us again. She was really sweet and kind. And she helped get our phone situated. We got SIM cards and we did a walkthrough of the house. And then she finally left us alone. We sat outside on our back patio and voila.
Yeah.
It was the view. This is what we were working for all this
so
time.
to paint the picture a little bit, it's this house that's on a cliff.
On a
Like,
cliff.
I mean, you're gonna work your calves off to like. I mean, it was.
We only walked it maybe a handful of times.
Yeah, I know. I would like to say that we did it more, but it was a 3-minute walk down the hill and about a 20-minute walk up the hill with a couple breaks.
It's true. Yes.
But the good side of that was our patio was gorgeous. Like,
Beautiful
you just
view.
sit there, Mediterranean Sea, watch the dolphins jump. The boats roll in and out. It was
Yes.
gorgeous. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was.
yeah.
So the good with some of, the not so good.
Yeah. So that's the first day. At least what I remember about it. What would you tell people who are thinking about doing this in hindsight? What would you have done differently?
Well, in hindsight, 2 things I would have done differently. One is I probably would have rented a place before we settled in because we took a 1-year lease. I probably would have rented for like a month just to make sure. Now, we did love our view. We loved some things about our house, but there were some things that weren't great about our house. And we were also a little further than where we wanted to be.
That was the biggest thing from the location. The
Yeah.
house was like, it was what I wanted.
Right.
Like it really appealed to me. But it wasn't what appealed and was what was best for the family. Like, because it was on a cliff, it was away from the center of town.
Yeah.
Walkability, the kids, like being able to sort of like go out and just meet their friends. Everything became, we felt still very American. Like I felt like I had to get in my car to drive everywhere, rather than like some of our other friends had houses right in the heart of the city.
Right.
Didn't have the view that we had. but they were able to just walk to all the different restaurants, and all the kids would go right to the beach and just play on their own or with other families.
Yeah.
And that part, I wish we had, like, I would have liked to have scouted it out. Like, finances not being an issue, right? I know everybody's financial situation is different.
Yeah.
But
we also had COVID did battle, so we weren't doing any scouting trips at that time. But again, like, if you have the opportunity, definitely scout the neighborhood or rent for a short period of time until you understand and know the different
Well, you could do what we did. I mean, like, so the person we hired, she did a lot of videos for us. She would go to homes and do videos, and like we have an army of real estate agents that we're affiliated with that could do that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing. Like, get videos, but not just of the house, which is what we focused on.
Right.
Like, hey, orient me on the where we're located within the city.
Yeah, because, you know, I did Google search everything, and we were going on Google Maps, and that was fun, but it doesn't really give you a true sense of how far things are. And like you said, we were only 3 minutes from the beach. We really were, but there's a piñon, which is like a jut out to the sea. So in order to get to town, you had to go down, around, and up. So the whole traveling took way longer, and to walk it would have been like an hour, even though it was only 5 minutes away. So cool. But looking back, it's wild to think how much has changed since that first day, but that moment really did set everything into motion.
Absolutely right. And if you're on your own journey toward living abroad, just know that the first day doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to happen.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening to Expat Livin. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe and leave a review if this resonated with you.
That's right. And also, you know what? Tune in to our next episode. We're going to cover some of the top cultural shocks you'll face when you actually make that move yourself.
Until next time, my friends, keep dreaming big, and we'll see you on the road.